They can put that in. Yeah. Okay. Hello, everyone. Sorry I couldn't be there today. Wish I was there with all the other students giving their presentations. First, before I go into my presentation and a little bit about myself, I wanted to give thanks to everybody that made MonnikenLAB possible. So first, thanks to all the people at MonnikenLAB, Vivinia, Chris, and then everybody there was really warm and welcoming to us. Second, thanks to all of the presenters that we had during the week. They were incredibly diverse and all very, very interesting. Thank you to all the other students. I miss you guys already. And good luck with your presentations. And then finally, thanks to Jan. None of this would have been possible without you, and I really do thank you for the opportunity. So a little bit about myself. My name is Juliana. I'm originally from New York. I study at Loyola University in Baltimore, Maryland. And for 1 year, I'll be at KU Leuven studying. I study in the States International Studies with a minor in sociology, and I focus on human rights, justice, and conflict. I'm really interested in the project, so I wanted to come in from a sociological standpoint. So my goal for the project is social inclusion, and more so in my terms, transforming the narrative about people with disabilities, intellectual disabilities. So first, I came to the problems and obstacles that I feel surround the issue with social inclusion. And I divided it up into visibility and accessibility. So visibility, isolated from society due to stigma, lack of understanding, or convenience. And then I thought a great inspiration and a great way of framing this was in the video In My Language that we saw on Thursday. The woman in the video said their definition of thought, which is a very narrow definition, defines their definition of personhood. Then on the second problem that we have is accessibility, or the lack thereof. And I think it's a problem with addition and not integration. Marc Dujardin talked about this really well, how structures will add on segments to deal with handicaps instead of integrating it into the original thought process and building process. And then society expects people with intellectual disabilities to fail, and Liz framed this very well when she came to speak to us, that society took her down instead of bringing her up. And so in both of these situations, we are expecting something without listening to voices. So I came to the second point of my thought process is what needs to be accessible, and I divided it up into the intangible and the tangible. So the intangible being dialogue, conversations, and media, and tangible being work, education, housing, and social spaces. And how would these all become accessible is through, in large part, inclusive design, whatever that might be. So for dialogue, it's mediums to have stories heard. For media, it's names and faces and stories and the power of the visual. Work, integrated business models, education, more flexible education, housing, assisted living, like what we've seen at MonnikenLAB, and then social spaces designed for diversity, quoting Marc Dujardin. My target area, what I really want to focus on is the intangible and the fluid. So that being media and the dialogue and the narrative surrounding people with intellectual disabilities. So I thought about how are they left out from this conversation? How are they left out of the media? Why is there no visibility or accessibility to these aspects? And so we had watched a TED Talk, actually two that inspired my thinking process in this section. First on the Internet of Things, and that we're more connected ever to technology. Therefore, how can technology be used as a way to bring visibility and accessibility? And then yesterday we had watched an amazing and really inspiring TED Talk by Amy Mullins, and she talked about how poetry matters and there's an importance of beauty, and that using technology and changing this dialogue is a new way of being human. So I want to think about how we can use media to define humanity and being beautiful, but more so redefine it. Redefine what that means going into this new era. So the project plan, it's subject to change, as I said at the bottom, but I want to use art and media and technology kind of all together in this beautiful combination. And I was thinking about either an art installation, a video journal, documentary, photo project, a book, an online journal, or a multimedia that uses what we've talked about all through here as a way to bring visibility. So allowing access to these platforms will bring visibility and then hopefully social inclusion. With furthering my research, this is obviously subject to change and things might differ. I might decide to go into a new direction, but this is the hope. So that is my case study for now. Thank you for listening. I know I can't be there for any questions, but Jan has my email, so if anybody would like to send me questions or comments on my presentation, I would really appreciate it. So thank you very much for listening and have a good day. Am I done?
I don't know how to turn this off.
Oh, there's...
Do I hit record again?
Yeah, or...